Welcome back guys to the fourth and one of the final devlogs for the zombie shooter. And you might be saying, why am I saying that? Because we are almost at the end of the zombie shooter and I'm going to explain why that is today. See, today I'm going to be going over day 44 all the way through day 64, which was today, and that means August 24th, 2025 all the way up to September 18th, 2025. Again, that is today. So let's get started, shall we? In day 44 I noticed something. Although I had added a second player to be able to join the game, the zombies were just ignoring him completely. That's racism. So let's fix that. I fixed that, and the zombies are chasing the second player as much as the first one. They want to hit him, they want to kill him, and there is equality in the society of the game. So that is nice. Now in the previous video I said that there were not many interactable widgets yet. So I changed that. I started working on a starting widget, which means there is a widget when you enter the game. In the widget you have the options to play, go to settings, and quit.
If you wanna give up, you can give up.
And the settings, there are no settings at least yet, so that's basically there for aesthetic purposes. Now quitting obviously quits the game.
This is your choice.
And playing takes you to selecting the character. And now you might be asking yourselves, didn't you say in the previous video that you wanted to make a character switching mechanic in-game? I did. I failed to do that completely. It was very complicated, and so I left it at that. I was like, no, that's way too much for this project. Let's take a rain check on that one. Let's go with the known route of selecting which player you want to spawn as at the start of the game. That's what I did. So we also have a character select widget, and as I have said, you can select from 3 characters. That's Rudy, Luigi, and Draco. And I also created different stats for these guys so that they were a little bit different. And the 3 stats that I changed were speed, max health, and stamina. Rudy is pretty much a balance between all of those. Rudy is basically just a fit guy. Draco is a tank, so he has much health and everything like that, less stamina and everything. Luigi is exactly the opposite. He's an endurance runner, if you will.
This guy can run a 120-mile week, 2,000 pull-ups, 4,000 push-ups, and hundreds of reps in the gym.
So these stats are also visible whenever you hover over the button that selects that player, so that the player knows what they are going for. I also made that so when there are 2 players in the game, there is also a player 2 dot and not just a player 1 dot in the minimap. So essentially there is no difference between player 1 and player 2. That's wrong. Unfortunately, there is only one bug that I have not managed to fix yet, at least, and that is that there is no aim dot widget for the second player. I don't know why that is. I have tried to fix it multiple times. I have failed. I'm gonna leave it at that. Maybe I will release the game as it is right now. I know it's not the best thing to do, but it's really out of my league at this point. In the previous video I said that I also wanted to add a story, and that's practically what I did, because once you hit play in the starter menu, right before selecting your character, you can select between campaign and free mode. Free mode is basically what you expect. It loads the map and you are playing with either 1 or 2 players. Thing is, when you go to campaign, there is a completely new widget which says select your chapter, and there are 4 chapters. Each one has a different mission. Now I'm not gonna go through all of these in detail, but basically you have a mission to complete in each and every chapter, and you have an objective list in the up left corner of your screen which says the objective. Once that's completed, the text turns green and you are immediately greeted with a nice mission accomplished widget which says replay mission, main menu, or quit the game. Exactly the same widget if you die. There should be a mission failed widget, although I have not tested that yet. I also created an in-game pause widget because although my game is the most entertaining game of the century,
do you honestly think you're fucking funny? Right, I'll tell you what, you fat little cunt.
You might want to quit at some point, so you just hit P in the keyboard and you should be able to see a pause widget which says resume, main menu, or quit. And I'm also going to say that when I added the character select widget and you were able to now select your character, the game for a few days bugged out and the characters turned full-on pacifist mode, and so their guns did not shoot. I don't remember exactly why that happened, but I fixed that, so that's all you need to know. Everything works as it was. Let's move on. You remember I have a primary and secondary weapon system. You are able to change between these 2 weapons. The secondary is a pistol, but I didn't have animations, so I got some animations for that.
What the fuck is this?
I smoothed them out, and you can now shoot just as well with the pistol as you can with your primary weapon. Upon adding the chapters, I had to change the spawning code for the zombies and the players and the allies as well. And also something I did today was the allies that spawn with you as NPCs are based on the character that you have selected. So if you are Rudy, you have Draco and Luigi as your allies. If you are Draco, you have Rudy and Luigi, and so on and so forth. Now, a game without sound effects is basically just moving graphics and nothing more. There is just one problem with that sound. I have to find a website to get the sound from, then I have to edit it, then I have to do things to import it into Unreal Engine. It's just intrusive, but I had to do it. So I went to Pixabay and I found some free gun sound effects, reloading and shooting, and also footsteps. The footsteps I have not implemented yet, maybe at some point in the future, but the gun sound effects are ready to go. The thing is, I had to get different pops for whenever you shoot the gun and then mix them together randomly so that the game does not have one sound effect for the gun, because that would turn stale and it would annoy the player's ears. I also tried to mod the code and the sound for the garage door because it had zero sound and it was opening and closing whenever I pleased. Not exactly, but there was a bug there. I kind of fixed that bug, but I think that there's still a little bit of that in there. Anyways, it's not too bad, so nothing to worry there. Now I also downloaded and added a medkit mess and an ammo box mess. And after I also fixed some loot bugs that I had, now the loot that drops when you're killing the zombies is an ammo box, a medkit or cash. Which, since I deprecated the upgrades / add-ons that I had for the house, cash literally carries zero purpose within the game. But that is at least temporarily. In day 60 I thought, you know, let's make some promo images for the widgets at least, which meant that I had to import static poses for the characters, apply them to the characters, and then create a sequence to take the picture, let's say. I did not manage to do that. It was a little bit more complicated than it should be because of the metahumans, and so I left it at rain check, not today, and maybe I will do it at some point in the future. Now day 61 and day 63, all I did was basically I tried to build the lighting for the game and cook content and everything like that and try to package the project. That was just so that I could test what will happen. Because in the previous project, MFC, if you remember my previous video, I had the problem. The game would not export for some reason. And this time around, I think that I have snatched the reason, and it is that I do not have much SSD. But anyways, these are things for the next video. For now, it's time to wrap this up. One last thing, guys. The next video that is going to come up about whether I exported the game or not is going to be after I get a new SSD, which is going to be in a few days from now, because there are some things that I need to get in order. Apart from the SSD, I also need to get some clothes for the metahumans because they cannot be released like that, so that is going to take a while. In the meantime, I'm going to start a new project and I'm gonna let you know about it once I've done some things. So with that, consider subscribing. I am Alex here, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.